This video is brought to you by the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. Go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd. What's up, guys? Welcome to my review of the Discraft Paige Pierce Tour Series Z Buzzz. So, it is kind of strange that I've been doing this channel for so long. I've done 250 plus disc reviews at this point, and I don't think I have a review of just a regular Buzzz. I have the Buzzz SS, I have the Buzzz OS, but not the Buzzz. Seems kind of crazy, and luckily my friend Chris Caulfield sent me this Buzzz to test and review, mess around with. It's a great flyer, and it's pretty representative of a Buzzz overall. So even if you're not looking for this particular run with the million other different options for plastic types and different things that you might want in your Buzzz, this is definitely one that will be able to give you most of the idea of what to expect. It'll definitely show you the way it's shaped, and you'll see how it flies a little bit later in the video. So thanks again to Chris Caulfield for sending me this thing to test. Thanks to all you guys for watching. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not done so, to stay tuned for future content. Also, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Let's get into the review of the Discraft Buzzz. Arguably the best mid-range on the market. And it's not one that I bag currently because I'm really happy with the mid-ranges that I throw, but it is a disc that has been in my bag in the past. I used to throw, many years ago, I had the ESP Flex Buzzz in the bag. Great disc. I really liked it for a long time. Here's a look at the stamp. Tour Series Z Buzzz, Paige Pierce, of course. This one, it's kind of hard to see, but there's actually on these lines here, you can it's kind of translucent right in those gaps, like those little kind of radial lines there are kind of clear. Really a good looking disc in the light for sure. I like this plastic overall. We'll talk more about that in a second. Here's a look at the rim of this thing. So again, absolutely classic disc. Probably the best selling mid-range of all time at this point. It's either this or a rock. There's really can't be, I can't think of anything else that could even come close. And that's been, that used to be the big debate, Buzzz versus rock, and now we have so many other options, and EMAC Truths, and the Gobies that I love so much, and so many other things out there. But for the longest time, you were either a rock thrower or a Buzzz thrower for the most part. This one is pretty flat, as you can see there, which is pretty typical of most Buzzes. You don't see a lot that are super domey that I know of. 177 plus on the weight there. So the Tour Series plastic is interesting because it starts out feeling kind of slick, and this one almost feels like it has a textured feel to it, just really slightly. It's not as kind of glossy feeling as other discs, but it actually starts to feel really nice after you start throwing it. It feels really grippy and nice, and I like it a lot. It's kind of, yeah, it seems almost like a slightly textured Z plastic. It's pretty firm. There's not a lot of flex to it, just a little bit, but it feels really nice in the hand. It's a beautiful disc. You can find these in all kinds of different color combinations. You can find some that are much more translucent than this, but I like this kind of opaque one, and maybe kind of transitioning a little closer towards ESP type plastic, but it's a little firmer and has a different feel to it than most ESP plastic. So yeah, pretty flat across the top, as we said. Here's another look at the rim profile. In just a moment we will show it up next to some other things, but classic at this point, and great feel in the hand. It's been kind of copied and duplicated a bunch of times out there in the market, the Buzzz, and for good reason. It's a fantastic disc that works incredibly well. This is a Compass, which is probably about as close to the Buzzz as a mid-range gets that I have in my stock here. I don't have a Truth or an EMAC that are definitely Buzzz-ish or anything else. I believe the reason I stopped throwing the Buzzz years ago is I was throwing the MVP Axis, which is a great mold. I think it's been discontinued at this point. And then the closest to the Buzzz, as far as a disc that's in my bag, will be the Gobi, my beloved Gobi. See, the Gobi is perhaps slightly lower profile. It is definitely a little bit more dome to it, at least this particular one, and it's more rounded, where the Buzzz has a little bit of that kind of squared vibe on this bottom edge there. Give you one more peek at it. So all in all, it feels great in the hand, and I definitely like this particular one in terms of the Tour Series Z plastic. It's very nice feel to it and has a good secure grip, especially now that we've thrown it a little bit. Fresh out of the box, it has a little bit of a more slippery feel to it. And I think I've observed the same thing with Andy and his Tour Series Lunas that he has. They start out a little bit more slippery. Once you throw them, they break in. Z plastic in general, pretty similar to that. All right, let's take a look at some flight footage on this thing, and it is a pretty solid kind of point and shoot buzz. For me, it has a little bit more fade at the end of the flight to it than you're going to see with James, but even James, he'll get like a laser straight flight out of it, but it has just that tiny touch of fade at the end of the flight. The really nice thing about the Buzz from my perspective is one of those discs that flies straight and very neutral, but it has enough stability that you can hit it really hard and throw it strong. So it's one of those discs that literally anyone can throw. I know that that's like a cliche that gets thrown around a lot, but a Buzz is a disc that could be your first disc ever, all the way up to a guy like Drew Gibson that has the most power, the most pop of anybody, arguably, and he can throw the Buzz crazy far and control it and get really good accurate flights out of it. If you have power, the Buzz is a phenomenal disc that flies almost as far as a driver for those players and has incredible control. But for lower arm speed players like myself, it's a pretty point and shoot mid-range that will have some fade at the end of the flight. This particular one, I've heard that these runs are a little bit more stable than some other Buzzes out there. It's been so long since I've thrown one personally that I can't really attest to that per se. I know Andy is really digging the ESP Buzz that I gave him a couple years ago. It started out pretty stable and it broke in really fast to just a laser straight Buzz that has a little bit less fade than this. So I could see it being a touch more stable, but it's not overstable by any means. I really liked it for just kind of flat to slight hyzer, straight shots to smooth hyzers, little fade at the end of the flight. Very consistent flyer that really doesn't take much effort at all to figure out how to work this thing. The Buzz is an absolute staple on the market. It's, again, arguably the best mid-range of all time. It's got to be, if not the most popular mid-range in the world, it's number 2. Happy to have it here on my playlist. You can't go wrong with the Buzz. Point and shoot, it will have some fade on it, especially depending on your power. But again, this could be your first disc that you learn how to throw flat shots with when you're just starting out, and you can use it for the entire time you're playing disc golf. That is the Buzz. This particular one is the Paige Pierce Tour Series Buzz. Thank you once again to my friend Chris Caulfield for sending me this thing to test and review. Thanks to all of my friends and viewers out there. I appreciate all you guys. I will talk to you very soon. Cheers.